You know, the geeks are pretty smart. They actually now are stretching during the commercial break so they don't pull a muscle when they dance here on the Geek Beat. Of course, it's our good friends Burt and Ryan Ozawa. You guys have seen a lot of traffic on social media, a lot of hate because of a couple of things. Let's start with Facebook. This whole new Messenger app has got a lot of people upset.
Right. Basically, they're taking the instant messaging element out of Facebook and creating a separate app. There's a number of reasons why they might do that. One, of course, it's real estate. You have many varieties of spam to take more room on a shelf. You have many apps for Facebook to take more room on your phone. But they're saying that some people use Facebook to post news, some people use it to interact with people.
So they're
why
separating
not,
those
why not
things.
do both of those things better?
Everybody hates it. I haven't seen anybody that likes it.
Right.
Do you like it?
No, absolutely not. And of course, for me, it's that as overconnected as many of us are, we don't need another inbox to
yet
check.
another, yeah.
But another key part of the controversy, of course, was that on an Android phone, when you install the app, it says, we want to be able to access your microphone anytime, your camera anytime, we get to name your firstborn. I mean, all of these things, and they're like, I'm not going to click OK on that.
And he was kidding about the naming the firstborn,
that's not
but
in
just
there.
barely.
But, you know, that's true of any app, but the thing on Android is that they have to give all of the permissions up front. You know, on an iPhone, it says, it doesn't ask you to use the camera until you try to take a picture.
Then it'll do it.
Then it'll tell you that.
Now, you can just avoid it. I mean, it's forced now. It's forced on you. You can't see your messages unless you load it or install it.
Or you can go to a computer and do Facebook
That's
that
the
way.
option.
But,
Just ignore it until you get to a laptop.
but you know, Facebook used to be the company that people were worried wasn't ready for mobile, but now they're almost all on mobile. So to say, oh, to get your messages, just log on to a computer, what's that?
What is that? Well, next week. That's next week's Geek Beat. What is a computer? Now, let's talk about, you're here to chat about Foursquare and Swarm. Kind of a similar controversy.
Well, okay, so Foursquare, when they started off, they really featured the check-in capability.
Right. Oh,
so
yeah.
everybody in 2009 were really into checking in. So they all got around and to different places and checked into those
You can
places.
become the mayor.
But exactly. So that the gamification of that was become the mayor. I mean, there were places where I just checked in just so that I could maintain my mayorship. But over time, since 2009, the folks over at the Foursquare started to think, I don't really wake up in the morning to just create a check-in app. And then what they were seeing was that the downloads for Foursquare was actually going down. So they were thinking, well, what do we need to do in sort of become more viable, more interesting for people? Because I guess from an investor standpoint, they weren't really getting the kind of investments, and they were competing with the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Yelps. So what they did was they decided to kind of break the app up into two different apps. One is Foursquare still, and the other one is Swarm. Now, Swarm came out in May of 2014, and that became kind of the check-in
So
version.
Swarm is now the check-in.
Right.
What is Foursquare then?
Okay, so Foursquare just came out this past week, and it was a whole new redesign. And what they are telling people is that we are now kind of a Yelp killer. So what it does is that you can actually, without even checking in, you can go into an area, and it'll tell you, based on what your interests are, what kinds of restaurants there are, what kinds of actually, even the people who are near that area, and then you can sort of discover new things in a neighborhood without even having to check in.
Ryan and Burt on the radio, Hawaii Public Radio, 89.3 tonight at 5. What are you guys chatting about?
Well, this week we're talking about Ingress, which we love, but next week is very timely because it's going to focus on technology for emergency response and disaster preparedness.
Okay, great. Very timely. All right, guys, thanks very much. The Geek Beat, of course, hope you'll join us next time. Right now, though, it's time to dance. As we head to break, more sunrise coming for your Thursday in just a moment.